like I said, I think this is the moment we're all going to look back at, and at the end of this season, and even in a year or two, when George is looking for another team. It's right there is where you accepted being the number 2 role.
Yeah,
the number 2 seat driver right there. That's the moment you said, "Yeah, I'll let the number 1 go by. I'll let this one go win this championship."
Yeah,
that's where you gave up your 1 year, you're possibly your best chance at a drivers' championship, and you accepted your fate. Like,
yeah.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Around the Circuit, Apollo Media's Formula One podcast. As always, I'm your boy Junior. Today, joined by Mark. No Ivan again. He's a busy man. He's got some stuff going on today, so he wasn't able to make it in the studio. But it's me and Mark again.
Yeah.
Mark, after this weekend, bro, I'm just gonna let you have it. I got nothing.
We certainly had a race weekend.
We had a race weekend. The Dutch Grand Prix. One last lap, as they told us all weekend. One last time at Zandvoort.
And you know what? Max took that literally.
Yep.
He took one last lap. Not even
a full lap. Yeah, one last lap at Zandvoort. What can I say, man? As a Max fan, it was brutal.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Ivan finally got his wish. He finally had a Max crash due to driver error.
Yeah.
Max said it in the post. He thought it was drier than it was. He took the low line into that banking, caught a wet patch, hit the white line. It was a wrap from there. A narrow track like that, you probably not many people were saving that.
No.
Luckily, it was all right. It looked like it was a pretty hard hit. He said it looked rough. Worse than it actually was. I don't know. That shit looked like it hurt to me.
Yeah.
It looked pretty bad. I know a lot of they posted the clip. I mean, it was like a lot of the drivers checking in on him. I mean, You see a big shunt like that, most of the time drivers are going to check in and be like, hey, are they good? They're good. He was all right. Unfortunate. He was sitting, P7 at the time? I mean, it wasn't like he was really competing this weekend as it was. We saw in the sprint, he pulled out, P6, P5?
Yeah,
so it wasn't
was
like
P7 coming on the grid.
Yeah, so it wasn't like it was a super competitive weekend. He probably wasn't seeing the podium. But yeah, nevertheless, the Dutch Grand Prix continued eventually.
Yeah.
Lando made it back-to-back wins. It was a sprint weekend. George won the sprint. What are we thinking?
Not much.
Initial thoughts just coming into after the race.
Lando's on a heater. Fair play to him. He's been driving really well. Kimi has somehow been staying. I know we said that he was going to continue, but coming into it, I was like, oh man, is he not going to do well this weekend? And somehow he was able to finesse a P3 in qualifying, and then he was able to finesse the P2.
The P2 finish
in the race
because the sprint. The early part of the weekend, Kimi did not look great. He didn't look bad, but he looked like he was a step behind George. He looked like he was a step behind the McLarens. And then, like you said, he pulled out the P3 in qualifying. He made the move after the restart. He made the move on the start, passed up George.
Yeah.
Then made the move after the restart, passed up Lando, and led the race. He looked good. Unfortunately, for him, McLaren played the strategy game a little bit better.
Yeah.
McLaren was fast. Lando is, like you said, on a heater right now. He went into the summer break on a win, came out of it, and claimed another win. McLaren might be back.
This is back-to-back wins for Lando, and it's back-to-back tracks where we know he does well, especially here in Zandvoort.
Yeah.
He's won here before. So, he's been on the heater, and, McLaren looks really well. Oscar still trying. I know I predicted him to get on the podium. I thought this would be a bounce back where he could get on the podium. But McLaren looks well. Mercedes looks like Mercedes, except they're a little bit more vulnerable, but it's still. And Ferrari was just. I had a feeling coming in that Ferrari wasn't going to do well.
Yeah.
And I feel like Zandvoort, it was just.
They were definitely I want to say they were definitely the third fastest team on the track for the weekend overall. Now during the sprint, Charles did have a little bit more race pace, and he did end up overtaking Lando about halfway through the sprint. But it seemed like going into the actual race, McLaren found something, and yeah, I mean, Ferrari was just on the back foot compared to the other two teams. They were fighting amongst themselves more than anything, and not even on the track, on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not many times we can look back and hear Lewis that angry on the radio.
Yeah. I just gotta say real quick, this fan base, I already know it's already a problem, but this fan base is like one of, if not the worst in sports. Not even in terms of Ferrari, in terms of like Lewis and Charles fans. It's every week with this shit. I have to go on Twitter. I have to look at Charles fans attacking Lewis fans attacking Charles.
We're seeing exactly what we probably expected, right? Charles is the golden boy. He's not going to just bend over and take it. You know what I mean? He's not going to fucking take the lickings like a little kid. He's going to put up a fight. This is still, to him, his team. He's still one of the top drivers on the grid. And when you have a teammate who's a 7-time world champion, like, you come into a race like this where, Lewis was probably faster and he wanted that swap. But they're not going to just give it to him, whether it makes sense or not, because Ferrari never does anything that makes sense.
No.
And even if they would have asked Charles, what would have been the pushback on Charles' side? You know what I mean? You have two top drivers just clashing with each other on who wants to be ahead and get the most points.
Yeah, it's just, I just got to talk about it because it's so ridiculous. I have to look at this every weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's almost not surprising because
this was the problem that we thought Ferrari was going to have, weekly. When this first news was announced, I was like, oh, are they going to go with the Golden Man? They go to 7-time champion.
I'm telling you, what it is last year there was just Lewis wasn't as competitive.
No.
They finally got a competitive Lewis, and now it's happening.
Yeah. And I have to deal with these two fan bases going at each other when in reality, y'all have one common enemy. This is not the driver's fault. This is all on Ferrari and the strategy.
Yeah.
Charles is going to think about Charles's race. Lewis is going to think about Lewis's race.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is up to the team to make sure they're communicating between both drivers, getting the setups right, getting the strategies right. Should Charles have let Lewis pass? Yeah, maybe. Should Ferrari be going on the radio and telling them everything that's happening? Like, hey, we think Lewis has a bit more pace. We think you should pass. We've seen this all before. It's still not. Some of it's been fixed, but not all of it has been fixed. It's extremely frustrating. Maybe Lewis could have gotten on the podium if he's passed, but honestly, I don't think so. The McLarens and Mercedes just had too much race pace. Like you said, Charles in the sprint had good race pace, but just coming into this race, there was just nothing for the Ferraris.
Yeah, no, it's I really think Lewis probably could have got on the podium had he passed sooner. Now, I'm not saying they should, Charles should have just automatically let him blow by. Charles is never going to do that. I think that's like, I mean, not to really compare them, but like it's almost like asking Max to get out of the way. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw what happened those years ago with Checo, and there's a lot of drivers that aren't going to want to do that. I mean, Lewis isn't going to want to do that most of the time.
Well, Lewis has done it.
He always say he's done it before, but most times he's not going to want to. Did it make sense? Like you said, yes, they probably should have done it, and it should have happened a lot sooner than they did, instead of pitting Charles and then whatever mess they created. But like you said, they're creating this mess because there's not that open line of communication with, like, hey, if they're changing strategies mid-race and then they're leaving one or both drivers out to dry.
Yeah, it was just so frustrating because you hear that radio from Charles. They were telling him to box, and Charles was like, "No, that's not the strategy that I want for my race," and so he doesn't box.
Yeah.
Obviously that makes Lewis mad because he's like, hey, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, well, fucking look at Charles and his engineer. Like, hey, they need to get their shit together, man.
Yeah, they're clashing all the way up to the pit wall, and it's unfortunate because it just hurts the team in the long run.
Yeah.
When you're fighting for constructors, when you're fighting for drivers, I mean, because of his sprint win and his P3,
Yeah.
Charles is now tied in points with Lewis in the standings, but he has taken second, I think, due to countback, right? He's got 2 wins compared to Lewis's 1.
Yeah, George.
Or George. Yeah, what was I saying? George has 2 wins compared to Lewis's 1.
Yeah.
So George is now sitting in second place. They're both still, 40 points behind, 40-something points behind Kimi?
Like 50, 60.
Because Kimi did lose, I think Kimi did lose a chunk of points in the sprints, is what it was. If I could pull it up. Kimi has 242. Lewis and George have 183. So, yeah, 59 points. So maybe not. Maybe, he gained 9 points over the weekend.
Yeah.
The lead's growing coming out of the summer break, and we have 11 races left.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
If Lando continues doing what he's doing, could he pull a 2025 Max?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think McLaren or Lando can pull it off. I think eventually down that line, something, whether it's a Lando collapse, a McLaren collapse, I think there's too many factors over there with the McLaren. Like I said, a McLaren or Lando, or maybe even Oscar getting back into it.
I was going to say that. I feel like that would be the biggest factor. If Oscar manages to get back into it, if McLaren as a whole is back and is going to be fighting for wins, all it takes is one good weekend from Oscar to get in the mix, and that does nothing but. And we've seen it. McLaren doesn't have the stones to say, "Hey, he's fighting. He's making the comeback, fighting for the championship. You're going to be the number 2." I don't think Zach Brown or Andrea Stella have the stones to say, "Sit back on this, Oscar." If he gets going and he starts fighting for wins, he's not going to sit back and let Lando just take it.
Yeah. And, I say that because you look at last year, like you bring up, those reasons that I brought up are the reasons why they nearly lost the championship.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. So, it's worth mentioning because Lando has been, as much as we like to dog him, and I was even giving mess to a Lando fan that I know, saying they were like, "Oh, he got pole," and I was like, "Yeah, well, he's the professional pole bottler. Like, we know how this is gonna go." And then, granted, he did lose the position at the start of the race. Yeah. He drove his way back into it and managed to still take the win, and then with a sizable gap too.
Yeah.
So, if he's gonna be driving like this for the rest of the season, he's gonna steal some more wins, and it makes you wonder. I personally don't think he could do it either, but you got to ask the question,
Yeah.
This one's tricky. So we're talking about, obviously, McLaren and the team orders. What did we think about the Mercedes team orders?
Absolutely nuts. This is something that I really didn't expect to see out of Mercedes. Honestly,
I really thought we would see. I thought we would see like a Cadillac podium before we would see anything like this.
Yeah.
One, what are we doing? 2, good for Kimi. Yep. 3, George, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? You were trying to fight for a championship and you just. Okay, whatever you say, Dad. What?
This is absolutely nuts. I could not believe it when they said it, because I always understand in this situation where one driver clearly has more pace than the other. You want to swap. You want to see if that driver can get ahead and go catch a Lando, whoever's in the lead. But that is just nuts.
So here's the deal, right? Obviously, Kimi was on fresher tires. He was on the softs, but he did not have the pace. Those softs, you texted this in the group. The softs had no pace. It wasn't like he was going to go chase Lando down for the win.
Mm-hmm.
He literally just gave up that position to lose those points in the championship. And for what?
Yeah.
when Kimi, if I won't say win, if Kimi wins this drivers' championship, this is gonna be one of the moments we look back at the end of the season and be like, that's where George gave it away. If not the moment, we're gonna look back and say that right there is where George gave it away.
Yeah.
Because he just it made no sense at all. There was no point in that, and I don't understand why they asked that of George. I don't understand why, even if they did ask it, why didn't George push back?
Yeah.
You literally just rolled over and died.
Because it's I don't know if we missed the radio message or anything, but we literally heard nothing from George, and it's almost because after the season that. Well,
I did hear one where he was like, "Was he? How does this make sense? Is he going to be chasing him for the win?" And I don't know what the answer was, but I mean, he asked a question, but it was little to no pushback.
Yeah.
He went into turn one and gave it up, and that was it.
Yeah. After the season, George hasn't been performing. Car hasn't been performing for him at some points. It's so bizarre to see. I just don't understand how a driver just let this happen when you're in the middle of a championship fight.
Yeah, I mean, your biggest rival is your teammate in this in this year's championship. It's those two, first and second place.
Oscar was putting up every single time McLaren made a decision like this. Oscar was always I don't understand this. I don't want to do this. He still did it because
And maybe he had those conversations off, and maybe that's more of what Oscar should have done too, behind scenes, off the track, off the radio, so everybody doesn't see. You maybe give him that benefit of the doubt, but no way, man.
I don't understand it. I don't understand how you let that happen when you're in the middle of a championship fight. Granted, you're not really in it right now, but you're in it. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, even if it seems like a long shot, you want every point possible.
Every point matters. We've seen it last year, how every point matters. I don't know what else to say besides I can't believe that George let this happen.
Yeah,
I can't believe this order was put in and it happened.
This moment right here is literally George accepting the number 2 driver.
You had Lewis behind him, not that far.
Yeah, and not
on
only
the fresh sauce.
Yeah, and not only did he just give away a chunk of championship points, he almost gave away even more. They almost did that even more because Lewis almost caught him.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a chance he could have lost that podium.
Those sauce were starting to work for Lewis a little bit to where he was behind him. So absolutely insane. I have no idea how, because Toto, I've never seen Toto or done that. I've never seen it, and I've never thought that would be something Toto would do. People always talk about how Toto has a favorite, but I just
well,
exactly.
It's kind of hard to deny now.
Yeah, and to a point, can you blame him? Because George,
I mean, no, but like I said, you look at the beginning of the weekend, and George looked like he was on decent form, right? I mean, he took pole for the sprint.
Yeah.
He won the sprint. He qualified ahead of Kimi. Yeah, he lost the position, but then at the end of the race, he got it back just to give it away.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I said, I think this is the moment we're all going to look back at, and at the end of this season, and even in a year or two when George is looking for another team, right there is where you accepted being the number 2 role.
Yeah.
The number 2 seat driver right there, that's the moment you said, yeah, I'll let the number 1 go by. I'll let this one go win this championship.
Yeah.
That's where you gave up your 1 year, you're possibly your best chance at a driver's championship. And you accepted your fate.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in 2 months when we're looking at it again, it doesn't matter. But right now in this moment, it looks like this is going to be a moment we'll look back at and be like, wow. Right there is where he rolled over and croaked.
I don't see how else you can look at it, because I can't say it enough. It's absurd that this happened, how he let it happen. I don't know. Put up a fight, man. Come on.
Yeah, you gotta do something. I say, show me what you're made of, but maybe he did.
He kind of tried this year.
Show me what you're made of. Well, that's all I got.
Show me what you're made of. Insert his car shitting himself shitting himself. It's not a good year for George.
Yeah, it's just not, and it's just not a good look. Like I said, the team was insane to ask it to begin with, but for him to just roll over like that and take it, man, it's you stop feeling bad for him at that point. Like we, I don't know, at a certain point, we were all sitting up here like, damn, maybe we feel bad for the guy a little bit. He's having a rough year, and this was supposed to be his year, and now I don't, man.
I don't.
Maybe he went back to the garage and threw some things and yelled at some people, but
unless he somehow finds something and gets on a heater, then I'm just gonna be like, hey, man, fair play. You came in, you're 19-year-old, now 20 actually. Happy birthday, Kimi. I think.
Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Kimi. You let your 19, now 20-year-old teammate put belt to ass throughout the first half. So if you don't at least get another couple wins, bro. Like I don't know what to say, man. This has been a really disappointing year, and I don't know how you come back from this one.
Yeah. Speaking of, I mean, shout out, like you said, I forgot about it. I did see that. Happy birthday, Kimi Antonelli. 20 years old. He's on his way. Still a long season to go, but he's on his way to becoming the youngest world champion in F1 history. I mean,
crazy, man.
11 races to go. It's gonna get interesting, especially with McLaren. Not to get too away from the top teams. I mean, it's the fourth best team, but got to show some love to Liam Lawson. I think this news broke.
Well, we literally
after we recorded last week. The news broke.
I was about to say we have to mention it.
Isaac Hadjar didn't get to race.
Yeah.
Dude went a little too hard in the gym, boxing, fractured his wrist during the summer break. He was on the brink of returning. Talked to MotoGP legend Marc Marquez.
Yeah.
Had a conversation with him. Marquez said, hey, make sure you get your rest. Make sure you heal properly before you rush back into it. You're still young. And he said, that's a good idea. Took the weekend off. Red Bull promoted Liam Lawson back up to the mother team at Red Bull.
Yeah.
Raced alongside Max Verstappen this weekend. And they brought back our boy. Where's it at? Right there. Right here. Yuki Tsunoda. Brought him back. Had him race for the Racing Bulls. I got to show some love to Liam Lawson. We've been talking about the last few weeks that Liam has been performing.
Yeah.
There's rumors that he's fighting for a seat period right now.
Yeah.
Even though he has been on a decent run, he's fighting for a seat because we don't know what the Red Racing Bulls are going to do next year for their drivers lineup. Obviously, Max is extended until 2030. So that was big news. We can stop talking about where he's going to go or what's going to happen.
Fucking God.
Max is with Red Bull. He's not going anywhere. He's staying there.
Also, this is truly how you know Max and Charles are lovers because both of them announced they're fucking re-signing and then at their home race they crashed out.
And they crash out and hey, whatever, man. We gotta figure something out because they ain't doing nothing but causing us pain. But no, got to show love to Liam Lawson. He took the promotion for the weekend. And he ran with it. He performed well in the sprint. I think he finished just outside the points. And then came into the main race and finished P7?
Yeah, P7.
So in a race where Max was DNF'd on lap 1, he still finished P7 and brought home very important points for the team. Performed well. I mean, he was out there, he said, kind of by himself. He was in no man's land.
Yeah.
The midfield was fighting behind him a few seconds. The rest of the field was ahead of him a few seconds. So he was kind of just there.
He was 47 seconds behind Oscar, and behind him, Nico was behind him by a lap.
Yeah. So he was in no man's land. He was out there just kind of doing his thing, but he brought home good points. So you got to show some love to him. And we got to show love to Yuki Tsunoda, man.
Absolutely,
we love
man.
Yuki. I think everybody loves Yuki.
Everybody
I don't really
loves
know
Yuki.
many people that don't like Yuki. It was good to see him on the track again. There are rumors that he's looking at an IndyCar contract.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a weekend where teams who are looking for another driver they could look at this weekend and one, look at Liam, but two, also look at Yuki and be like, hey, he was on the beach a week ago chilling, probably fucking living his life up,
Yeah.
I'll go race the sim in a couple days and chill out. He was on the beach, relaxing, gets the phone call, shows up, qualifies, makes it barely misses out on SQ3 in the sprint quali.
Yeah.
Barely misses out on Q3 on the race quali, and ends up finishing P11 in both races.
Yeah.
Dude hasn't driven these new cars or new regs once. Just pulls up off the beach, hops in the car, and puts on a decent performance.
Yes, he was fighting for that last point spot.
I mean, you look at the overtake on Gasly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like one of his best friends.
Yuki Airbag.
He's out there fighting his best friend on the track, making amazing overtakes and fighting for points. He finished just outside the points. Pierre did ended up besting him by the end of the race.
Yeah.
But I mean,
crazy.
First race in these new cars, in these new regs. Fucking a week ago, was sitting on the beach, and he just hops in the car and says, "Sure, I'll go fight for points."
Back and locked in, like
nothing,
locked in,
like nothing,
like
never
never happened.
So you got to show some love to him. Hopefully, I mean, I would love to see him on the grid in 2027.
Yeah.
Hopefully, somebody picks up the phone and says, "Hey, man, we have a seat open for you."
Yeah.
And he could show up. I mean, I wouldn't hate to see him at Aston Martin. The Lance Stroll experience is over. Lawrence, I know that's your son. This experiment is over. Fernando Alonso finished in the points. The upgrades are working in the right direction, and Lance Stroll can't finish the fucking race. He's one DNF away from 100 DNFs in his career. 100 DNFs.
That is quite
what
a stat.
Are we doing?
That is quite
He
a
talks.
stat.
He has all this money. He brings in Adrian Newey. He gets the Honda engines. The season starts off shit. They do a complete 180. Fernando finishes P9, and Lance Stroll can't finish the race. Send him off to Indy. Send him off to WEC. Send him off to wherever. GT. Bring in somebody like Yuki. Bring over somebody like Liam.
Anybody.
Let them perform. They know how to fight in the midfield. Let them perform the way this car can now. Like, and maybe this weekend was just a fluke and Fernando just drove his ass off. Yeah, there was 7 DNFs.
Yeah.
But still, regardless, when points are available, you take the points.
Yep.
Aston Martin wasn't doing that 2 months ago.
And Lord knows they need every point they can get.
So,
unfortunately for us, I don't see it happening anytime.
it probably won't, but I'm going to let it out anyways.
This guy was in Formula 3 getting upgrades on his car from fucking Formula 1 team. So, don't know what else to expect.
It's frustrating to see as a fan of the sport when there are drivers like Yuki who are having to sit on I say this in a mean way, he sit on a beach in Greece, but he could be driving for a car and competing for points when you got a guy that has 99 DNFs on his career and probably only double the races, if that. Half of his races are DNFs.
The fact that he even has a podium is a miracle.
I'm interested. What is that? How many career starts does he have? Lance?
Too many.
Stroll, career F1 starts. 200 as of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Almost half of his races he's DNF'd. Look, man, take that news with how you will. We'll shout out Pierre Gasly though. Like I said, we mentioned he was fighting Yuki for that last point. The Alpine still got it. They're right there in the points. Colapinto could have been in the points as well. He had that unfortunate. Him and Lindblad both got They both kind of got screwed over by the penalties. You know what I mean? During Max's crash and Bortoletto's 360 he decided to do to Ara Farm behind a crashing Max, Nico almost T-boned him. It was a whole ordeal going into that last turn on lap 1. Both Lindblad and Colapinto, while avoiding the crash and the double yellows flashed, they overtook the people in front of them. It wasn't intentional. You could obviously tell. They're not saying, "Oh, he crashed. Let me take advantage of this dude slowing down." No, you could see it was. They're all avoiding trying to crash themselves.
Yeah.
They overtake the person in front of them while everybody's slowing down in the process. I didn't think it was a big deal. Obviously, all they have to do is let him right by. Hey, go ahead. Those systems go off instantly. It's human reaction times. Like you're avoiding using your reaction time to avoid a crash in front of you. You can't always avoid, passing up the person next to you while you're trying to avoid.
You look at that Hulkenberg, Hulkenberg dodge was insane.
I still don't know how he missed that. Like looking at his onboard, it was car, and somehow he managed to turn.
Literally the scene,
like the smoke. Yeah,
the scene from Cars where he's going into the smoke and somehow he sees him last minute and just turns and doesn't make contact.
Shout out Hulk. Yeah. Shout out Hulk, because that was insane reaction time. But for them to get drive-through penalties for that, the stewards need to relax. Like, what are we doing? It wasn't. I could understand if all that happened after the fact. They come out of it, they're going on the straight, and they're like, "Ooh, piece of candy," and pass them up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But this is all like, hey, correct it. It's a red flag anyways. You're gonna restart.
Yeah.
All you do is you adjust the positions at the restart and you go about your day. Fucking maybe if you want to, fine them, sure. But a drive-through penalty? I mean, that ruined both their races from the start.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. Like I said, Alpine probably could have finished 10 points ahead of them both, but Gasly took the points at least. Who did we have finish P8? Was it Hulk, right?
Yep.
So Hulk ended up at the top of the midfield, more or less.
Yeah.
Finishing ahead of the points. More points for Audi. I mean, the midfield is looking. We actually got to see midfield fighting on the broadcast.
Yes. I talked about it in our group chat.
You did. We
for
actually
a
got
long
to see
period of time, and they showed it at the right moment when it was getting to that moment where the midfield was battling. And yeah, shout out, they finally listened. And we got to see a majority of the midfield battles. It was amazing. We got to see the battles live, in the full screen. It was amazing.
We're not watching it on the side tower, side graphics.
So I love that. I hope they continue to do that because it was very entertaining to actually see those fights on the broadcast, main screen. Amazing. Love it.
Yeah, I mean the midfield is putting up a hell of a fight throughout the whole season, and now
Racing Bull still on top with 66, Alpine right behind with 63. So yeah, Alpine needs to kind of lock in.
What is it? Where's Audi sitting?
Audi's sitting right behind with 16.
With 60? So 16. 16. Okay.
Right behind with Haas with 21.
Yeah, Haas 21. Did not have a great weekend. A double DNF. I mean, Ollie just broke down instantly on the restart, right? From the red flag.
I think Ocon went out when they were coming around the formation lap, and he went out. That's why they did another formation lap. And then I think it was Ollie right after. Yeah. So yeah, talked about it earlier. Haas has just been absolutely crap.
They're just crashing. They're falling in the wrong direction.
And it just sucks because you have Ollie. I really thought Ollie was going to be the guy to go to Ferrari when a Lewis retires or Charles leaves. Charles resigned. Lewis has made it known that he's staying for at least 2 or 3 more years. So it's just that's why when
I think Ollie's going to end up looking at maybe another top midfield team if they're looking for drivers eventually.
It's tough because the drivers market is already it's crazy, but it's already starting to find its place to where people are going to end up.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Alpine does with Colapinto and who they bring in with Pierre, because I feel like Colapinto might be out after the season. And you're going to have, like I said, drivers like Yuki, possibly Liam, Ollie maybe looking to leave. You're going to have some drivers. The drivers we don't have to worry about going anywhere in the midfield or towards the back of the midfield are, one, Cadillac, because Caddy announced that they are sticking with their driver setup for next year. But also, Williams, Carlos signed a multi-year extension, which was actually surprising to most people.
Yes.
And then Alex Albon also signed through 2027. Williams drivers are there to stay for at least for the next year or two.
Yeah, that's very interesting to see after everything that's happened this past year. The great year 2025 they had. Yeah, I imagine they'll just stick it out, see what they bring next year, especially Alex. I think Carlos is in to stick it in with them for a little while.
Yeah, I think he's
with this contract.
If anything, it's gonna be loyalty to a detriment at this point because he is determined to see it through, see the project through. I just don't know if it's gonna make it through at this rate.
Yeah,
we had high hopes last year. Year two, not so much.
No.
I mean, we talked about that last week quite a bit and the week before, so we won't get too into it. But yeah, they're signed. Unfortunately, they both were celebrating and signed and celebrated too much, made contact on the track.
Yeah.
I think it was Carlos's fault. He locked up going into a turn side by side.
Yeah.
Both took damage, so Carlos's race was ruined. He did finish, but his race was ruined. Alex ended up having to retire because of the damage. It's one of those things that sometimes shit happens, but it is unfortunate that it's the weekend where both your drivers signed extensions and
yeah. Crappy celebration. Also, I gotta mention, coming up in Monza, Ferrari has a special livery planned.
Oh, do they?
The Schumacher livery. The first year he came in, they're planning a special livery based off the Schumacher one when they first came, and it was I think 94 that year.
Yeah.
So yeah, very excited to see that.
No, 100%. Before we get too carried away, I do, because we did mention it last week that the F1 Academy was racing. They raced both races. It was, as I mentioned last week, a home race for Nina Gademan. She took P3 in both of those races.
Yeah.
Home podium for both races, the reverse grid and the feature race. Alba Larson, the Ferrari driver.
Yes.
She took P2 in both races.
Yeah.
I don't remember who won the reverse grid race. Is it Prescott? Is that her last name? I don't want to butcher it. I'll look it up. But the feature race was Alicia Palmowski, the Red Bull driver, the championship leader.
Yeah.
A grand slam.
Dominating. It was crazy. I was watching qualifying and I thought Alba was maybe going to get away with that pole, but of course not.
I mean, this close. Dutch winner. Peyton Westcott. See, I was close. I knew that. So Peyton Westcott, she won the reverse grid. I want to say she is the Aston Martin driver, maybe? I'm not sure who she races for, but Mercedes. I knew it was like a green or teal one there. So she is the Mercedes driver. So the driver supported by Mercedes. She won the reverse grid. Like I said, Alba Larson had P2 in both races. Nina Gademan, home podium on both races. And then Alicia Palmowski dominated the feature race. Grand Slam, added to her championship lead. They'll race again in Austin, which is our home race here. I want to try to make it up there and watch some of that racing. So hopefully... Yeah. And then they'll close out their season in Vegas. So make sure you are subscribed to the F1 Academy YouTube. You can watch qualifying, watch free practice, watch the races. It's worth it. The races are good. They're very short too, so it's not like you're watching another whole F1 race. It's shorter races, and then these girls get out there and they go wheel to wheel. It's fun to watch.
That qualifying session was nuts.
Yeah. I didn't watch qualifying, but I saw some of the highlights, and these girls, like I said, these girls just go at it, and it's so funny to hear them crash out on the radio sometimes too, like, because most of them are younger, so they just have that like high pitch, like, it gets feisty, man. It gets feisty. It's fun to watch. But yeah, other than that, like I said, it sucks to see Max go out of his final home race the way he did. But Zandvoort gave a bunch of memories. They were on the calendar up until like 85, and then they came back in 2021. Obviously, Max had a huge, probably, persuasion in that. Came back in 21. The last 5 years, Max pretty much dominated. McLaren got the last 2 years in the wins, but I mean, the Dutch are fun people. We got to party with
Yes.
them during the World Cup. So hopefully somehow,
Very-
some way, it'll return to the calendar in the future. But if not, until then, so long Zandvoort, so long Dutch Grand Prix.
So long, man.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it. I'm still going to race it on F1
Oh, absolutely.
26 because I love the banking. I'm going to miss it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we get new banking with this new track when it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, any last thoughts on the Dutch Grand Prix, Zandvoort? Other than McLaren is possibly back and things are about to get interesting these last 11
Ferrari, lock the fuck in. Monza is next.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Lock in.
It is
One
the Tempo
race.
Speed
This is
next.
the one
It's
race.
Ferrari home race. I'm terrified for Kimi because home races apparently are cursed in 2026. We saw Oscar crash out in... Oh, Jesus, excuse my voice. We saw Oscar crash out in
You're doing
Australia.
a lot of those lately.
It's been tough, man. Oscar crashed out in Australia. We saw Max crash out in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. We saw Charles crash out in Monaco. We saw Fernando crash out in Barcelona. Kimi, for the love of God, please. Don't do it, dog. Leave the home curse to Ferrari.
No!
Sorry.
No! Actually, no. We're going to use Kimi as a sacrifice, man.
They're gonna at this rate they might. Yeah, I'm actually really terrified. But we'll be back next week to preview Monza, the Temple Speed, the Italian Grand Prix. We'll come in here, we'll preview that, give our poll and podium predictions, see what other news drops between now and then. We also will be putting out our poll challenge for Monza, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. We're pushing out more and more content. We have our weekly episodes, our poll challenges. We will be pushing out. We still haven't finished the newest season of DTS, but they did announce 2027 DTS is returning, so we have to finish that season. We'll have our reactions out to that. And yeah, I mean, we're back for the second half. 11 more races to go.
Yep.
Let's finish out the season. What a way to start the season. We'll see y'all next week. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the follow on all our socials. At Around the Circuit on TikTok, Instagram. At Around the CCT on X. Subscribe, like, comment. We'll see y'all next week. We're out of here. Peace.
Hopefully, it'll be all of us.